What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Aging Potheads podcast. I am your boy, Big Brother Boss, aka the Funky Monk. Token Tony is on the boards, and with me on air, as always, is the beautiful Miss Candy with an X. What's up, girl?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Man, I was sitting here grooving to the music. I was like, man,
Right?
I'm
I'm
like,
trying
hey,
to
I'm sitting here grooving, saying, oh shit, I'm about to be on the
get
air.
on my other phone.
But y'all, welcome to the show. Go out and share it with your friends. Grab you a drink, grab your blunt, grab your smoking apparatus, because it is time for the blaze.
I gotta be careful with this because this had me choking.
Oh man! All right, folks in the folks in the chat, let us know what you're smoking and where you're watching us from. Miss Candy, what are you smoking tonight?
I'm just smoking some basic little runts. Nothing too jazzy this week. Sometimes we potheads got a budget, so
Mm,
it's just some basic runts. I gave it it's an indica, it's a hybrid. It's not, it's not like it's more of a like mid grade, most people would call it. Um,
mm.
it's,
Well,
it gets
let's
the job done.
exactly, and let's call it what it is. I'm not. No offense to you. It's Reggie. It's just.
It's
It's
Reggie.
just regular. Hey, like you said, sometimes we be on a budget. Don't get me shit. I'm smoking. I'm down to like smoking 3 joints a day because I'm getting low. Don't get me wrong.
No, I lost let me tell you, my debit card got stuck in the fucking machine
Oh
when
damn.
I tried to go get gas last week.
Uh huh.
And, because I use Cash App Prime for my primary stuff, I know, a lot of people, I do have a business bank account, but I use Cash App for like everyday stuff.
Yeah.
So, and also too, because when I work, I have to go back to work.
Hmm.
Um, I get paid 2 days earlier. So
Yeah.
that's why I like using Cash App. So I went and on the way to my friend's house, tried to get some gas because, Cash App been having some issues with
Yeah.
people doubling their transactions. So I was like, well, let me just pull out some cash just so I don't have an issue because my little coins I need to keep.
Yeah.
And it that thing like on Predator where they get stuck on the neck, like that's how
Hmm.
the damn ATM machine ate
Uh
up my card. I don't know how
huh.
we opened it up from the front.
Uh
We
huh.
tried. I broke some little piece on it. Like hopefully
Hmm.
uh I mean they were able to fix it because I don't mean to break people's stuff, but I need my
Yeah.
debit.
Yeah. I
So,
get that
and I
shit.
just got that card. Like, I just got that one. So, I don't know the numbers on it. I don't remember stuff on it. I'm trying to think, well, I can still, kind of function without it because, I can still maybe do the tap to pay and all of that.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember
I
it.
get it.
And then
I get it.
the cheap ass phone I got doesn't have the tap to pay option. So,
Oh
it's
man.
literally me having to find somebody or a friend that has like cash apps. So, look, hey, I need gas. I can't get gas. I can't get food. Let's
That's
do
crazy.
shit like that. Yeah. So, and they're taking forever to send me my card. So,
I get it. I get it. Yeah, they take
it's
forever.
just been stressful. It's been very inconvenient. So,
Yeah. And just as a side note, there was an issue with Cash App last week where they were double charging folks. Hey,
yeah, that was weird.
if that affected y'all, let us know in the comments how it affected and it wasn't taking care of where you paid.
Yeah,
I've been hearing a few things about it, but hey, I don't know.
it's looking weird.
Um, but back to runts. Runts is a good hybrid if it's grown correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen it on just the low and the mid tiers at most dispensaries. Everybody has runs. Even your street level dealer should have runs. It's a fast grow, and like Miss Candy said, it gets the job done.
It gets the job done.
Um, Definitely, if it's a higher grade of it, they do have they do have different variations of runts. Um, I know I shared black runts with you and Token Tony. That
Yeah,
black runts hit hard. I'm not gonna lie,
it
it hit
did
pretty
though. It
hard.
did. It hit
You
hard. It
know,
wasn't
I was
like it
like,
wasn't bad.
I hit it. Was like, this is a runts. This is a runts variant. Oh
Yeah,
hell
I think I still have some of that around here somewhere
no!
too, in the
But
car.
definitely, y'all, runts is a great beginner strain. It's a great everyday strain. Don't
Hmm.
I'm gonna say this, y'all. I am a weed snob. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really try to weed shame people because we all got different budgets,
Right.
and let's not let's not weed shame people because we've all been there before. You know what I mean? I got a change jar. I'm gonna show it to y'all on air one day. I have what I call a change jar, and that's what's ever left after I finish rolling. I just throw that shit in this jar. This jar is it's a little flat ass mason jar,
Yeah.
and if I get low, I start rolling out of there. I start throwing that in my pipe. You know what I
I
mean?
found some roaches from somewhere.
Huh?
Well, I keep roaches for that reason. Just
Exactly.
when
See,
you get down bad, you can roll it. People say that you in the trenches when you do that, but
yeah. Most of the time, since I use y'all damn. Let me do it the way on TV. Most of the time, since I use tips on my
okay.
things, I smoke it all the way down to the filter. So a lot of
Yeah.
time I don't have roaches, but I do have like stuff that's left over after I roll my blunts. Hey y'all, I'm a meal planner. I measure out my weed when I roll. I know it's kind of funny. I measure out my weed though. I measure it out. You
I
know,
mean,
I'm real meticulous about it. I am very meticulous about the weed. So if I do have some left over, like I said, just throw it in my change jar to smoke later. Let us know what you do. Do you keep roaches, or do you keep a little weed off to the side? Let us know what you do when you get in there like 2 days before payday, and it's like, man, I need to let this stretch until Friday. So,
right.
so what
Y'all
I'm
don't want to see
smoking,
me without it. So.
yeah, what I am smoking today, y'all, is I believe I think I'm smoking. If I think this is the Master Gorilla Glue. Okay, yeah. All right, this
Okay.
is the Master Gorilla Glue. It's a hybrid. Um, it's Gorilla Glue crossed with something else. I forgot because I'm smoking it. Um, this right here, y'all. I gave it 5 blunts. Gorilla Glue is one of my all-time favorites. When I saw Master Gorilla Glue, it's got something in there. I think I want to say it's Northern Lights. I can't be too sure, but it is. It could be Grandmaster Kush. Yeah, Grandmaster Kush. So
Okay.
one of the things is it's a very balanced hybrid. So you can either get it for the energy or the head high, or you can ease into the body high that comes on with it too. Um, so it's like if you want to take a nap, you're going to take a nap. But if you still want to stay up, watch a movie, do something, this is it. Those Be careful with this. Take 2 or 3 tokes, put it down
Put it down.
because it's gonna hit you. Take a couple of tokes, put it down, and then just ease into it because it will get you to where you're stuck. It's couch locked, or you're gonna fall asleep if you over medicate. This one is very easy to over medicate because it tastes good. It feels good when that high comes on. Uh,
Mm.
Producer advises 2 blunts of it. Yes, but most definitely, I love Master Gorilla Glue. I picked it up, of course, with some other stuff um, that I'll be. I mean, I always talk about Durban Poison, so
Yeah.
but I got something else that I'll review next week called
I need to try that Durban poison.
Durban.
I don't think
Okay,
I've ever
when
had
I get
it.
when I get more of it, I'll shoot you some because right now I don't have a lot of it. That's why I'm
Yeah.
kind of
No. Yeah.
I'm
When
kind
you
of
get some.
conservative. Um, but yeah, when I get into my new space, because I'm moving in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to have my weed up on my thing and hopefully have Miss Candy come over so we can do our show from there. Um,
Yeah.
build a little thing in there. So definitely, I'm looking forward to that. being back together, because that would bring the return of the snack table.
Yes.
For
The
those who
return
are
of
new to the
the
show,
Munchie table.
yeah, the snack table is what you see in our intro. Is the snack table. Now, let's move on. Tony has changed the title, so let's
Right.
get
I
it
mean,
going.
moving. That means we lagging.
The strain of the week, y'all, is Super Lemon Haze. It is a sativa in the lemon haze family. Um, and I'm gonna tell you folks this. Super Lemon Haze is one of those sativas. You got to be a real sativa lover to truly appreciate this strain. Um,
Mm.
I use it. I use it to when I'm writing. It's one of those things that keeps me up. It keeps me writing, or if I got
Okay.
to straighten up my room or something like that. This is just that straight, and it gives you that extra push, that extra creativity. It allows me to think. Super Lemon Haze is one of those best ones. I recommend always getting this on the top tier
Okay.
um, if it's at a good price, because this normally is testing between 20 and 30% THC.
Wow.
It definitely hits you in the head. It has a for some folks it has a headband feel, like a headband, like your head is tightening up. Some folks might not like that, but it's very
Mm.
soft. It's not like headband 707. It's just a small one to let you know, hey, I'm in your head. Um, but it lets you think about things. This should be at your normal to high end dispensaries. It's normally on the premium list, so it's normally top shelf. If you do catch it on a lower shelf, don't go no higher than maybe the mid range shelf. Um,
Okay.
you know, for this one. So basically, shop your budget, but this string right here, make sure you get it at least on top shelf. Get it top shelf. Um, wife awakens indica, wife asleep means sativa.
Sativa.
I get it, Tony. I get it, man. So that's the Super Lemon Haze. Run out and cop it. If you smoked it before, let us know in the comments what you felt about it. I've
Mm.
smoked it several times. It is one of those. If I see it, I'm gonna get it and put it in a jar so I can savor it and use it for special occasions, that type thing. Um, Tell y'all, weed don't age, y'all. So don't just keep weed around. Just smoke it when you smoke it. Keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Um,
It gets
get the
stale.
little, yeah, get still. Get those little packs on Amazon. They sell these little packs that'll keep the weed at a good thing, but don't keep weed around for a long time, y'all. And get it out the bag. Get it out of the bag.
Yeah, it gets stale.
uh, yeah, get your weed out the bag, put it in a jar or something, dry place, and things like that. So, like we said before, where are you watching us from? What are you smoking on? We have a lot of stuff to talk about, but let's talk about July 4th. Yesterday was Independence Day for most folks who celebrated. I just sat around with some family. We barbecued. Not really my holiday anymore. I just use it to eat free food at people's houses. I'm not going to turn down an invitation to food. Everybody wore their Juneteenth t-shirts at the picnic yesterday. So that lets you know what type of picnic we were having.
Right.
But one thing here, what did y'all do for the 4th of July? But Miss Candy had brought something to our attention because last night they actually lit up the sphere for something more than just testing. And I'm going to let you go ahead and let us know about that.
So they had like this virtual. I was actually near South Point. I was at my friend's house, and I you could go from like they live at the bottom. It's like one of those 3 level apartments. So
Mm-hmm.
they're at the bottom, but we went up to the second steps, and they live. If you look north, in their building, you could see the strip. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was trees and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you had almost a straight on view of the sphere. So I was like, oh, because we saw it the other day where I think they were testing it. And it was just, like little, it looked like an eyeball, and it looked like the eye of Sauron or some shit
Mm-hmm.
from
Sauron, yeah.
Yeah, from Lord of the Rings. Like I was like, what the like that's kind of I mean it could throw you if you don't know what it you know. It
Now,
literally looked like a orb.
yeah.
So yesterday they did like this, and I didn't even know. I just happened to look up because we were like, "Is the strip doing fireworks this year?" And it looks like they really did. And I think Caesars did it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a big to do like they do New Year's.
Yeah. And the Plaza did
So
it downtown too. So
yeah, so and I mean, but we could see where we with this fireworks going up everywhere. We had to pay for nothing, just boom, boom. It was really nice.
yeah.
So they also had a virtual fireworks show at the Sphere. So
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if you had to pay to see it or anything like that. I didn't get that,
No,
but I
no,
did
you did.
see that.
A lot of people gathered around it because they knew.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
So
for
we
those,
saw it, from where our vantage point was. You could see it
Mhm.
turning all these different, blues and reds, and it looked really nice. But it was, it's just pretty jarring when
Yeah,
see it from like probably your hotel window or something like that. So,
yes, it is a bunch of 16K LED screens. So we're talking
hmm
about 16K. Most I shouldn't say most TVs nowadays are 4K. We're talking
yeah,
about 4 times that, y'all. And we're talking about a big screen. Now I didn't see it live, but I saw some of the videos, especially when they did that eye. If
yeah.
you are high, Tony, what's
Okay.
going on, man? Tony, what you got going on with the picture thing here, man? The hell?
Oh yeah, are you hungry?
Are you hungry, sir?
I want some. I'm hungry.
Um, but yeah,
He hit a button or something.
yeah. When they showed that eye was like, wow. I mean, like if you're high and on the strip, yeah, it's gonna mess you up.
Or
They did a
driving,
lot of,
like imagine, can you just imagine like driving past that and
yeah,
you are drunk and you like, what in the actual fuck? Thankfully,
yeah,
it's not on the actual strip. It's behind
yeah.
the strip, but it's
It's behind the Venetian,
yeah.
actually behind the Palazzo. I apologize. Behind the
It's at the
Palazzo.
convention center, right?
No, it's
But
actually on Sands. Or
yeah,
actually
same.
Sands.
That's the
It's on
convention
Sands.
center.
No, no, yeah,
Expo.
yeah, the Expo. It's not the Sands Expo anymore. It's Venetian or Venetian Expo, whatever it is. It's the old
Yeah,
Sands Expo though.
yeah,
It
they
is.
changed the name.
Yeah,
It's not fans
yeah.
anymore.
But yeah, when you look at it after it was lit up, because I know when I drive it, I work nights, so when I see it, it's normally just a black stripe, a blue stripe, and a red stripe
Yeah,
that they show. But then yesterday, I did start to show when they started doing the eyes, when they did the Earth thing. I was like, damn, this thing is bad. I like this.
right. It's
Um,
crazy. It looks so crazy looking at it. It's like,
yeah.
and it's just always, it's like a big ass black ass crystal ball. Just
Sometimes, I mean, when they first started building it during quarantine, I called it the Death Star. And then it also started reminding me of like the monster from the first Incredibles movie.
oh
Um,
yeah, the big
that's what
ball.
yeah,
Yeah,
the big ball. It reminded me of that also. Um, but also when they showed the Earth, it reminded me when you sent the thing over talking about global warming, and I was like, oh, I said, I know. I said, I know. She must have read something good about the global warming because there's a lot of shit about that I could talk about.
there's so much going on. Like
Yeah, it's
like you just get down in a rabbit hole when you get to that kind of stuff. Like I sit here when I'm not doing anything. You just
yeah,
TikTok and all this kind of stuff. Now I'm not a person that believes everything that I hear or see.
yeah.
But I use my own
Mm-hmm.
judge. Not saying that mine is better than anybody else's, but like I do like to research anything that I'm talking about. Like
Uh-huh.
so. I'm just noticing that we have this a lot of these, and I believe it has something to do with um like what's going on with the airports too. I was going to talk about that. Is it
Uh-huh.
kind of safe to travel right now?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on with these airports.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Fort Lauderdale Airport. I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with that, but it is completely underwater.
Damn.
There's no, and I meant to post it in the group chat earlier. I didn't get around to
Mm-hmm.
it, but it's completely underwater. You can't land there.
Mm-hmm.
At this time during Florida, they get kind of it's like almost hurricane season for them or
It is
monsoon
hurricane
season. Like
season.
we get, yeah. So they've been constantly just getting bombarded with rain, rain,
Uh,
rain, and it's like almost like 40 inches a day kind of thing,
uh,
like
uh,
or 4 inches, not 40.
yeah.
Um, yeah, 40 is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it might as well be. So I've been seeing these videos where they can't even land planes. They
Uh,
can't. Nobody can fly out. It's been just completely covered underwater. It looks like if you're driving past and you just see ocean, it looks like ocean, except for the planes that are just sitting
uh,
there under, water.
mhm.
So it's uh kind of, makes you think, are they, keeping us distracted with all this other stuff to, what's really going on is the planet is just, like shutting
Yeah.
down around us kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
We've been having
um
we've been having
but yeah,
some real weird water situations coming on.
real
Now
weird.
you mentioned Venice. Venice has always been sort of flooded, but they
Yeah,
did talk about the
because
water
they're in a
rise.
lagoon. Yeah, but
Water,
it's the city is sinking though. It's
yeah,
still
the
sinking.
city, yeah, it's still
It's
sinking. It's not to me. It's not really sinking. Whereas the erosion, the ocean is coming up. You know what I
well,
mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean that could be like another way
Yeah,
to how
and
how they're describing that.
yeah,
Um, the Venice is getting more and more underwater every day. Every year. I think
yes,
it every year.
exactly. And hey,
New
hey,
York,
Jay, thank you for
Miami.
joining us. Thank you for joining us, Jay. You're right, though. God is not pleased with some of the things. I don't believe. I mean, if you believe in that, in the universe and things like that, it could be what's going on in Florida because they got DeSantis down there. I'm not trying to get political, just saying he's just doing some weird shit down there, and maybe the water gods ain't working with him on it.
And speaking of him, I just read today he signed a law that got rid of permanent alimony. So, which is funny
Oh,
because the women who voted for the Republican women who are just housewives and ain't worked in years, and alimony is how they survive off, Now they're, you guys are voting against your own interest, and it's just kind of funny to see that that's happened. But that happened
yeah.
this one day.
It's he's doing a lot of stuff, and it's going against a lot. Like I said, we voted for people who put people in place, and they're working against where people are voting against their best interests
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. Um, it's it's crazy because we've been talking about global warming for years. I mean, years. And no one seems to take it seriously on both sides of the aisle because you can't blame one, you can't blame the other because, like I said a few weeks ago, all these motherfuckers been in office for this long too. There is a whole lot of them that was in office when they first started warning people about global warming. So they can't say it never came across our desk. It has. You know what I mean? We have people who've been there long enough to have done something about global warming. Now we're seeing the effects, and all y'all want to talk about is these five motherfuckers in a submarine. You know what I mean? Not the
Yeah.
fact that Fort Lauderdale is underwater. Not the fact that the water is rising even more in Venice. The fact that the beaches are coming up in places all over the world, and the water is too warm on the poles, on the north and south poles. The water's too warm, and they're
Yeah.
melting. They say
And
they. Go ahead.
the socioeconomic consequences that are going to happen because of that. So all
Exactly.
this land that these they wanted and coveted it.
Yeah.
I think I remember talking about Miami a couple of shows back. How Miami is different than a lot of cities down south. You know, pre-segregation were,
Yeah.
um, the north and south of their city. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but Miami, they segregated all their blacks in the middle of the city, so it's on higher ground.
Mm-hmm.
So now all these little, coastal properties and things that you guys wanted at the end, now,
Yes.
now y'all want to get, y'all done put them in the middle of the city,
Yeah.
red line.
And
Now y'all want that back.
and
So it just, it's just a lot.
yeah, same
Billionaires
thing.
are not smart people. They're just
Uh-huh.
not. They're dumb. Look at Elon. Like,
Yeah.
this man is
Same
running
thing happened in San
Instagram.
Francisco. Same thing
Yeah.
happened in San Francisco after the earthquake. They knew a lot of the poor neighborhoods were on solid bedrock. A lot of the poor neighborhoods in San Francisco in the 1989 earthquake, they didn't have any issues. And we're talking
Mm.
about buildings that were like 50 years old, hadn't even met earthquake codes yet. In 1989, and they still stood strong. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to start seeing them push those people out so people can be on what they call higher ground. And they're going to push other people out to the lowlands and things like that.
Yep.
That'll be in the next 10 years. But we talked about July 4th. It is a time to travel. Is it safe to travel? And two, one thing that happens a lot here in Las Vegas is canceled flights. And it's been an issue since they started letting us back outside. And there are people canceling flights, and my opinion on it is I think it's fucked up because you have these people who come here for the weekend, and sometimes they've used it, they saved up to come here, and hotel rooms for those who don't live in Vegas or been to Vegas, Friday and Saturday and some Sundays in Vegas, even the low cost, even the cheap hotels are $300 to $400 a night.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine getting up, and I see this all the time because I drive for a rideshare company here. I see it all the time. I pick up someone and they say, man, could you just get me to the airport? I've been walking around since checkout yesterday because their flight was canceled. For some odd reason, you can't stay in the airport overnight. I have to do a research on that, but they said they were told they couldn't stay in the airport overnight. And
You
so
can.
you can't. They said you can't. And I thought that was weird because when flights are canceled, that's what people do in other places. So I'm going to have to do a dive on that one. But they were saying that they had to leave and they were sort of like wandering the streets of Las Vegas all night. And that's just crazy because when they walked back to the hotel, they couldn't afford another night in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's like when they cancel flights, they really need to these people really need to be accommodated because although Vegas said we don't like the tourists, we don't really need all these tourists here, we don't want to leave a bad taste in their mouth either because they were told, oh, our flight's canceled, hotels are too much, and no, you can't sleep at the airport. So
I thought Vegas loved the tourists. I thought they hate. Not me. Vegas hate they local.
but we also need to figure out what's going on with these airlines. Some people said most of the time it's because the crew has timed out. They've worked as long as they could, especially the pilots. So the pilots actually have to get some sleep. And sometimes when that happens, or they have to rest, they can't fly. They have to
Yeah,
rest
I
for a while.
wouldn't want my pilot to be and I saw something like that too on TikTok where the guy was saying he saw the pilot standing outside the plane
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking, he thought that was strange because why? So we don't never see the pilot before the flight like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he said that he was asking each and every passenger, or telling them, "Look, I have not slept in 23 hours. Are you okay with me flying this plane, knowing that I have not slept in 23 hours? I've been flying." And I would have immediately got my bag and exit stage left because no, I'm not comfortable.
I'd have been like, look, I get it because pilots are notorious drunks. So now I got a sleepy drunk motherfucker flying me somewhere. and I already don't like to fly. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm already nervous about flying anyway. No.
Tony said he would roll the dice. Let's go. Let us know what you think, y'all. If your pilot, if you got on a plane and your pilot was giving you that warning that he or she had not been to sleep in 23 hours, but they finna fly this plane for you. I could tell you
No,
how.
you're not.
Nope,
You're not flying for me.
Yeah, and I'm 49 years old. If I've been up for 23 hours, don't trust me to do shit. Don't even trust me to roll your blunt for you. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna be there. Yeah, I'm not gonna be there. But we also talked about, I also asked, is it safe to travel? There's some places that certain people, marginalized people, like I do know the NAACP and a couple of other organizations that represent people of color and Black folks have issued warnings to Florida. You know what I mean? So is it safe to travel? Most places, yes. Here in Vegas, we do have crime just like any other city. However, after a few incidents last year, Las Vegas Metro Police Department has been really stepping up their presence in the what we call the tourist areas, the tourist corridor. They're still doing dumb shit. Don't get me wrong. Metro still do dumb shit, but they're there to show a presence to make sure that the tourists feel like they are safe. They're safe, and I always ask people, just remain vigilant. Vegas can be fun, but I can tell you, you go to the tourist areas, don't walk 2 blocks off a tourist area. Don't. Please don't. Especially at the Stratosphere or the Strat.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little seedy area between the Strip and downtown. It's a little naked city. You don't want to go down.
You don't want to go down there. They're cleaning it up. Don't get me wrong. They're cleaning it up.
It's a cute little chapels, like very famous wedding chapels that are on there. But just be wary of, some of the crowd.
Be aware of your surroundings, y'all. Be aware of your surroundings for sure. Now, I'm gonna get to some other stuff. I might not get to all of it, y'all. But there was a few things going on last week. The Supreme Court let out a lot of decisions. The major one being affirmative action. Now, there have been a lot of people who have benefited from affirmative action. If you're not familiar with affirmative action was created in 1965 as part of the 1964 civil rights amendments, where they required colleges and jobs and things like that to make sure that they were looking at marginalized people to fill their positions, and it was a solution to the race issues that were going on at the time. We were only 100 years out of slavery, from slavery, and they wanted to make sure that they knew the last 300 years white folks had got a head start. But there were also qualified people out there who were being overlooked simply because where they looked, what they looked like, where they lived, what they looked like, and just their overall demographic. So they said, hey, you're going to have to start looking at these people, and we're going to want to see it. Now, you can see the fundamental flaws in that. You can. But what it led to was most people thinking that underqualified people of color and Black folks were getting into colleges. And I want to dispel that myth here with y'all right now. Whenever they let someone in due to affirmative action, those people were qualified for those positions. So, but over the years, that had become the thing. So last year, or the year before last, an Asian American student from California, I believe Berkeley, was trying to get into Harvard, and they were told by a right-wing organization. I can't tell you the name of the organization. I don't have it up right now. they convinced him through false numbers and things like that that his spot in Harvard, which he didn't get into, was taken because of affirmative action. Imagine telling an Asian man he didn't get into Harvard because of black folks. And affirmative action is supposed to work for all marginalized people. It was a broken system. And I believe like 20 or 30 years ago, the late Justice Sandra Day O'Connor said, this is gonna fuck up in about 25 years. I mean, it's done, it's broken, it needed to be fixed. But it addressed that college admissions shouldn't be based on race. And last week, the Supreme Court said Harvard, as well as the University of North Carolina, could no longer do that. But they were doing something that specifically broke the rules of the regulations, the strict regulations they had for affirmative action.
Okay.
But what it did was it opened the door for states. Now, let's be clear. In 22 states, affirmative action is pretty much banned. Okay, in 22 states, it's banned. However, it was a broken system, but is it time for it to end? Because it was put in place to create social and racial equity. And we would think 50 years later or 60 years later, it would, we'd be in a post-racial America. But we're not. So we still need something in place, because now all you given the colleges was reasons to let people in. Now, the silver lining in all this, y'all, and let me know your opinion. I've been rambling. I'm getting high. I'm putting the blunt down. Let us know what you think about the affirmative action decision by the Supreme Court. And the silver lining in all this is that it caused people to now investigate what they call legacy admissions, because a lot of the seats aren't going to minority students. They have those backed up. They have that in facts. That's facts that affirmative action isn't really working at Harvard, no matter what they're doing. But it caused them to look into what they call legacy students. There was a show I was watching called The Readout. I believe it's on MSNBC. She was explaining how she went to Harvard and was told she didn't belong. But one thing she mentioned is that she was in the class with dozens of people whose families' name were on these buildings that she was learning at. So we got to watch out for those legacy things, because that's what they were saying. A lot of these things are going to legacy. A lot of these admission spots are going to legacy students. And when I say legacy students, we're not only talking about big donors to the school, but we're even talking about people who went to Harvard and they passed a white envelope and their kids get in. Now, when you talk about putting unqualified people or graduates into Harvard, that's where they are. In the legacy, because these students got in because their grandfather's name is on the building, that type of stuff. Their parents are donors, they have money, and their parents went to the school. So that's a lot of what's going on with that. And that's what caused people to put a magnifying glass on that. So I think we're gonna see some cases about that coming up soon too. About that.
I don't doubt it.
And speaking of colleges, they also talked about the student loan forgiveness, saying it was unconstitutional, because during COVID, during quarantine, we couldn't do anything. So a lot of students couldn't pay their loans. So here we are, and Joe Biden had promised $10,000 of relief to most student loan holders.
Yeah.
Those who had gotten Pell Grants, and Pell Grants are for people with
Like
lower incomes. They were given $20,000. Now, that being said, There was one guy, I believe in Texas, I think they both were from Texas, who wasn't happy with $10,000 because other people were getting $20,000. He felt that was unfair.
So basically, he made more money than everybody else. So that's why.
Exactly. And that's where we're going with. That's where I'm going with this. Understand that people with Pell Grants versus people who didn't get Pell Grants and had other ways are in a better economic status than those who actually qualify for Pell Grants. So to me, it was equity as opposed to equality. It was equity.
Yeah.
You
Mine always give me 5,000.
Yeah. So now nobody gets shit because he wasn't happy with his 10,000. Now, on the other hand, there was a young woman, I believe in Texas also. Her story was that she made too much money for student aid, student loans, things like that. So her family took out a conventional loan. Now, mind you, she could have they made the rules to where at first she could get it, then she couldn't. Then she was upset. She said, fuck it, I don't want nobody having shit. There was people like me who had to get conventional loans because my parents made too much money. Could you imagine people who could afford to go to college actually mad that people who couldn't afford the college are getting loan forgiveness? And we're not talking about wiping out debts, y'all. I mean, we are talking about wiping out debts, but we're not talking about wiping out whole debts. Now, don't get me wrong. That $10,000 would have wiped out all of my student loan debt. Matter of fact, I said, can I get a refund? I owe less than maybe $2,000 on my student loan.
I owe grandage. It would definitely would have helped me.
Like, can I get some change?
I ain't got nothing to get you. My thing with the student loans is a lot of at the time, especially after I got out, I went to college before, straight out of high school. I didn't finish. Decided to go back to, work on finishing it. And, things just happened. So when I got out of prison, I went to Everest College. And it was one of those, I remember the guy, I just had my baby. On the couch,
what are you doing? You just
like, you a bum, and right, you a broke ass bitch, and get up and go, go to school.
That nigga had you rethinking your whole life at 12 in the afternoon.
He got me. So I was like, yeah, I need to go back to school. I need to finish. So, but it wasn't that kind of school. It was a for-profit school. And a lot of those schools, ICDC, DeVry, Wyotech, a lot of those, Corinthian colleges, they came to find out that, those schools are predatory in the way that they, in the recruitment practices. And, they also said that, you were going to be working in a field that, made basic promises like, it was in demand. There's not a lot of, there's demand for, LVNs or whatever, medical. I went for medical billing. But it's not, they were pretty much guaranteeing you were going to get a job and, you were going to be making all this money. You're not making no
market. Then they saturated the market.
Yeah, they saturated the market, and now we took out real ass loans to go to these schools, and they determined that a lot of those need to be forgiven because now we're owing these debts. We're not getting in the money that we're paying is only going towards interest. There's people that's been paying. I know personally, been paying 10 years on their student loans, and
just hitting the interest.
Paid $24,000 and still owe $9,000. Like they've been the loan was only for like $10,000. Like
exactly.
It just applies to the interest, and interest accrues when you don't. So there's nothing going towards that. I'll pay my primary. Pay the primary. That's what I borrowed. That's what I use. Yeah. But to keep paying interest and it's not going nowhere. Like, and I still owe like. What the fuck? No, get rid of that interest.
And Everett's not even open anymore.
Yeah, yeah. None of those schools are. None of those schools are.
And once every couple of years, the beauty school shuts down.
Yeah, Maranello. Like I went to Maranello for a little bit, in Inglewood. Um, I was
But
just trying to
yes,
figure out how I can get my life back on track after,
exactly.
having experience
Well,
where I was. So I tried a bunch of different things. And,
exactly. So y'all, let us know what you think about student loan forgiveness. Let us know what you think about the Supreme Court's decision to say it was unconstitutional. Now,
mm,
the last Supreme Court decision came down when a web designer wanted to refuse to do a website for a gay couple for their wedding because of her religious beliefs or her beliefs. Um, this started in state court, went to federal court. Federal court kicked it up to the Supreme Court, and we're now finding out that one of the gay men never heard of this woman. He's a website designer himself, and even said he wouldn't even have used her based on her very remedial website samples. I was like, damn, that's a lot. That's a lot.
yeah,
However, the Supreme Court ruled that she could do so. She could refuse service to gay people because it was against her beliefs. Um, that sets a weird and very very telling precedent, because now we're dealing with people like we've been dealing with the last 4 to 8 years. We're dealing with people who don't care about facts. They care about feelings.
yeah,
And if they make them feel a way, then that's the facts all the way around. There was no facts. There was no facts here that supported this woman's um, case. Same thing with the affirmative action cases. There were no facts. There were just conjecture and people's feelings when the facts said differently. So
yeah,
we're getting to a very dangerous place when our high court is going with their feelings, and basically kissing conservatives' ass. I'm just gonna put it out there.
mm,
Um, because it goes back to a couple of weeks ago where we found out that Clarence Thomas, as well as a couple of other um, justices, conservative justices, were receiving money from billionaires, going on trips and shit.
well,
Also,
they were selling coke in the
paying,
White House, so I'm trying to figure
paying,
out
paying
where's
for
the
their kids'
40.
pay. I didn't I wasn't able to go do a deep dive on that cocaine at the White House thing, but I was not surprised. Come on now, y'all.
Said
Come
coke in the
on.
White House. Y'all should have been found coke in the White House.
Yeah, y'all should have been. Y'all just found it. Y'all,
Yeah,
you know,
somebody
I'm not
dropping on the
surprised.
way in, running in.
I
Happen.
haven't. I am not surprised at all
Hey, J
that
girl.
AJ. I am not surprised at all that they found cocaine at the White House. Um, what do we think about the website war? What do you think about this whole website challenge at the Supreme Court? Let us know all the way around what you think about the Supreme Court decision, y'all.
Yeah.
Decisions from last week. And let us know in the comments. Let us know Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. I had to come back. I'm a little too high, y'all. Now the question of the day that was presented during our pre-show: who would win in a cage fight, Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk? Let us know in the comments
Mm.
where you are. I think Zuck would win because Zuck
I
does
think
all
Zuck
that.
would win too. Yeah, he's really into his
Yeah,
spot.
his
Like,
chakras in his body,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Elon is just gonna hire somebody that's gonna teach him how to throw punches. Where
That Abby.
Zuck is gonna take that holistic approach and whip his ass.
All
Uh,
right.
but yeah, and one more thing, because Jay did bring this up about her reasons are wrong, but she is within her rights to refuse service at her business. However, the law
Mm.
says you can't discriminate against what they call a protected um, a protected
Right.
demographic. I can't remember the wording they use, but a protected demographic. And like I said before the show, y'all, to me, it didn't have to go that far. Because the second you tell, like Jay just said, I don't shop where my money isn't welcome. So you tell me
Exactly.
right
I
now that
agree.
you tell me right now that you don't serve a protected class of people. I'm glad you brought that up. A protected class of people. I'm good. Trust me, you're gonna get a Yelp review because I had contact with you. Now I'm not
Yeah.
the type of person who's gonna just Yelp bomb somebody because because of how they are. To me, if that personally happened to me, I say, you know what? Bet. I don't need you to do my shit. I don't need you to do my shit anyway. But I will be giving you a Yelp review, and it will be quite negative because of your bigotry. Your bigotry. So most definitely, y'all, let us know what you think about that. Um, on one point, I agree she doesn't have to because of her beliefs. She is a bigot, but she's also a business owner. So
Yeah,
it's
she.
more
I mean,
hers.
but we refuse to,
Mm-hmm.
reserve the right for service.
Yeah,
We can do that.
it's posted
I
everywhere.
mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
posted everywhere. It's a bit. I mean, it's
Exactly.
unfortunate that
Mhm.
they think like that, but
Yeah, most definitely, y'all. But yeah,
they
let
have.
us know what you think, and let's go ahead and talk about what we've been watching. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, y'all. We're high, and sometimes we will tell parts of the movies or parts of the shows that may spoil it. So leave a comment, let us know what you're watching and where you're watching this and what you thought about it. I sat down and watched the 6th season of Black Mirror on Netflix. Black Mirror has become popular. It was always popular to a certain segment, but then a couple of years ago, when they had a episode about two black men playing a video game,
I
um,
remember that.
it became very popular amongst other demographics, and it's now on season 6. And we watched it. We watched every episode, and I believe I gave it 4.5 blunts. I think he gave it 4.5 blunts. Um, it still held the attention. I gave it 4 blunts. It still held the attention that I liked from Black Mirror, but it just seemed some of the things were just not there for me anymore. It didn't make me. All right, Jay. Thank you for listening. Though, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jay.
Um, but it just didn't hit like the past seasons did. Now I
Hmm.
watched it well before the Anthony Mackie episode. I watched it well before then, and I liked it. I watched the interactive movie they had. Hey, Keish, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Um,
you.
I liked it, but this season it just didn't hit the same. Um, I watched most of it high, but I also watched a lot of it sober. I gave it 4 blunts. Still good, still good. Um, but it does there's a couple of the episodes that just didn't hit right. It just didn't give me what I expected from Black Mirror. Now, what were you up to? What was you up to?
I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania,
uh,
and I mean, I don't know what I expected. I guess I didn't. I expected what it gave. I guess like it.
mhm.
I expected it to be, big, CGI, Marvel
Yeah,
thing. I it was kind of, they've been on this family thing
yeah,
that's kind of putting me in the mind of the Fast and Furious.
uh
Like
huh.
everybody, the whole family's lost in it.
Yeah.
I did like Michelle Pfeiffer though.
Mhm.
I don't know. I thought her character was a bit vague, but she still looks really good. Like
Mhm.
she's still beautiful to me. Like she's always been very pretty to me.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess it was what I expected it to be. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
it didn't, the Kang. I thought it was kind of. At first, I was like, if you rule all time, like you should have seen this coming, kind of
All
thing.
facing
But
high, yeah,
yeah, but they kind of broke that down at the in the
yeah,
in or what have you. So
yeah,
it's just
yeah. It
you
was
know,
also broken down somewhat in the season one of Loki.
yeah,
It was sort of broken down how he was feeling about it too. You did give it 4 blunts,
I did.
so it was okay. You were able to sit through it, I bet, huh? Because sometimes
Yeah,
you're not even able to sit through, you know.
yeah, I sat through it, but I was watching it actually at Keisha Shay's house. Um, I was over there this weekend. We had like a little bowling thing that we did, and
Uh-huh.
um, I just stayed over there and watched it. And I mean, I gave it 4 blunts.
Uh-huh.
It's Marvel's
Hmm.
um fare. Like what they've been giving. So and I still consider myself a Marvel fan. I just haven't been. I don't know if I'm just kind of like burnt out on what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I get it.
but yeah,
I
yeah,
get
I
it.
get it more.
I completely get it. Yeah, I've watched it a couple of times. Yeah, it gives me the same feeling every time. If I'm high, it's one of those movies I keep on for noise. But it is definitely something to watch. And Tony asked, "What?" Anyone want to know what I watched? What did you watch, Tony? Let us
What
know.
did you watch, Tony?
Porn in 5 months. I get it, Tony.
I
I get
figured
it.
it.
Yeah, I figured it was something around that. Now, getting to the munchies, I every time I pass by this place, um, I ask who is keeping these motherfuckers in business. And we get into the munchies, y'all. In the comments, let us know your favorite go-to munchies. I stopped at Arby's because Arby's was talking about this Wagyu burger, and so I went in and I tried the
Oh,
Wagyu burger. Wagyu, yes, and it's pretty much a Wagyu blend of and Chuck and Wagyu. There is a picture there, up there for y'all to see. I got the burger, fries, and the drink. I also had a orange creamsicle milkshake or whatever they called it. What's
yeah.
what saved this meal was the fries. The combo itself, the fries were crispy, and I like my fries crispy, y'all. I like my fries crispy, and I want them soft on the inside. Don't burn my fries to where they're crunchy. I just want them crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. That's what I got from these crinkle fries at Arby's.
So it was
Um,
good.
it was good. The fries, the fries
Oh,
is the only thing that saved it for me. That's the only thing that saved it for me. The burger itself was just plain. It was a mid burger. It's a lot of hype. It gave me quarter
did it?
pounder with cheese filling.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
it gave me.
I mean, did it taste any different than like regular like Angus beef?
No, it
Or
just
what's the
tasted
hype
like
with the Wagyu?
it was just a regular
Wagyu.
ass burger. Like I said, it gave me quarter pounder with cheese vibes. The new
Mm,
quarter pounder, not the old one. This new one that they say is so much better.
mm.
Um, I gave it 3.5 blunts. I would have gave it less, but them fries were hitting. 3 means average. It was just that. It wasn't anything special. There was nothing there that would say, I'm gonna come back to Arby's and get something else. I'm gonna try the whole Arby's menu. No, there was nothing there that made me want to go back to Arby's, especially the milkshake. The milkshake, I was so wanted. I passed by it all the time. I said that milkshake looks so good in the picture.
Yeah.
Um, but when I got it, it was just mid. Uh, it was just
No.
okay. It didn't make me
Well,
want to
I
say,
mean, like this is why we keep saying that about Arby's. Like, why? Who's eating Arby's? But I've heard some people like Arby's. Some people,
yeah, Man, the dude in front of us knew exactly what to order and how to order it. I said, "Oh, he been to Arby's before.
Oh,
He
you come here often.
he a regular." But
Oh,
yeah,
you.
I don't know what Arby's be doing. But the milkshake, I gave 3 blunts. It was just man.
Mhm.
The whipped cream they put in it seemed like it wasn't really really real whipped cream. Looked like it had some oil in it.
Mm.
So I was like, nah. When I eat at a place, I want to be able to feel like I can come back for something, like I'm a crave it. Only thing right now is I would crave is those fries, and there's not enough Arby's around for me to stop and get fries if I just want a quick snack. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So overall, like I said, it's just mid. It's just basically fast food, and that's why I gave everything a 3 or a 3.5 stars.
Wow.
So yeah. So what was you eating this week, or what were you eating?
What did I have? I had wonton tacos and Applebee's. Yeah. So it was
You said
it's
that. You said that as a question, like.
no, because I'm trying to remember.
Uh-huh.
We were trying to go to Louisiana's, but they were
Uh-huh.
closed, even though they said they opened. Y'all got to stop doing that. Like black businesses, I don't even. But y'all got to stop doing that. Y'all got to start posting hours that y'all actually fucking
That's
open.
not the guy on Craig and Rancho, is it?
No, no, that's
Okay.
not him.
Okay.
No, but that's happened to me before there too.
Okay.
Like, yeah, a couple of times. Couple of
Okay, but you had the
times.
fried. You had the wonton tacos there.
Yeah. So we had and they were good. They just had too much coleslaw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they. I mean, the meat was, and I was hungry too, so that's why I ate it. But yeah, I gave them a 4 out of 5. Like they were crunchy. The
Would you
meat
try?
was pretty good.
Would you try it again if you weren't hungry, just to see if it was just your hunger talking?
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I go to Applebee's once a year, and I'm reminded why I go there once a year.
Why do you don't like Applebee's?
Huh?
You don't fuck with Applebee's?
I don't fuck with Applebee's at all, at all. You know. And FYI, y'all, the 2 for 20 is now 2 for 25. Just to
It's
let you
not.
know.
It's like 2 for 35.
It's 2 for 35, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it ain't,
Yeah. I believe Applebee's serves better apps and drinks than main meals. That's why they should just call. That's why Applebee's sort of fits them because their apps are good. Their appetizers, spot on most
See,
of
I
the
don't
time.
think their drinks to me like they have like some drinks are different, decent,
Yeah.
but it's bottom shelf. It ain't, and then half that stuff you don't even taste the alcohol.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
so I'm
Now,
not really into
um,
their drinks. Some of their entrees, I usually get the same thing when I do go.
mhm.
Um, and when we do go, we usually get the same thing. We don't. We kind of like what we like there.
Yeah. You
So,
sort of go with you. You don't deviate from the plan.
yeah.
Uh huh. And she said, Keith said it depends on what you select. It may be the 2 for 30 or 2 for 25, maybe 2 for
Hmm.
40. Oh, they got tiers now.
It used to be 2 for 20.
Yeah. But I
Hmm.
do Applebee's, yes, it hits with the apps to me. Tony just mentioned Chili's. I like Chili's. When I'm
I like
moving a
Chili's
couple of weeks.
better than Applebee's because I
Yeah.
like the fajitas.
Plus they give you fries. I mean, they give you the chips. They give you the
Mm-hmm.
chips in the salsa. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I move in a couple of weeks, there's a Chili's right on the corner. So hey, I'm gonna definitely be going to Chili's to get some of them fajita pitas, or I should say the pitas, uh,
Mm-hmm.
or the baby
You
back.
said
I
certain
don't eat
things
baby
that you
back
said
ribs,
that as
but yeah, um, most definitely, y'all check that out. Go try the wonton tacos at Applebee's. If you haven't tried Arby's, it's worth a trip there. Like I said, I gave it 3 stars. It's worth the trip to try it once. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to go back, y'all. It's not a many of you.
It's
Many
not
of
a
them
death
here in
sentence.
Vegas.
I keep
You
saying
wonder what?
there's one like literally a block away from me. So I just never want to spend my dollars on something. I don't think I'm a life. So like
Yeah,
I just
it's crazy. I haven't been
it's hard.
before this. Before that, I hadn't been to Arby's in 30 years. Easy. I hadn't been to Arby's at all.
Hmm.
Um, but when you ask who's keeping Arby's in in business, Sonic. Arby's owns Sonic. Arby's owns
They
Jimmy John.
do. I didn't know
Arby's
that.
owns Buffalo Wild Wings. So that's what's keeping Arby's in business, y'all.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. So most definitely, y'all, it has been a fun hour. Had some fun. I'm nice and high. I hope you folks are nice and high.
Yep.
Um, before we go, as always, if you are going through some shit in your life and you need someone to talk to, please
Hmm.
call or text 988. Here in Vegas, you can dial 311 211. I'm
311. No,
sorry.
211. Yeah.
211. And they have the same type of services. We'd rather talk with you than about you. Um, so most definitely, y'all, just a rundown. Let us know what you think about everything we talked about today, from travel to flight cancellations, the sphere if you live here in Vegas, what you think about that, and the Supreme
Hmm.
Court decisions, y'all, as well as global warming. I want to see some of your global warming. I want to see some of your conspiracies about the Supreme Court or global warming, because I know there's some of y'all out there who love conspiracies and smoke too. So definitely let us know. Hit us up in the comments and let us know what you think. We want to thank you for watching and smoking with us today, y'all.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
it has been a fun hour. We're the Aging Potheads, the beautiful Miss Candy, with an X. I am the Funky Monk, aka Big Brother Boss. Token Tony is on the boards tonight. And as always, y'all, we say meditate and medicate. Until next time, my friends, stay lifted. Good night.
Good night, y'all.